Hi, Chris Siamof with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and I'm here with Barbara Conniff,
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Fox Cities Realty. And today, Chris, we're going to talk about
10 things you don't do and 10 things you do
when buying a home. What not to do. Don't open new credit cards.
Number 2, don't make big purchases. I know you want that shiny new car, I know you want that boat, but just hold off until you're in that home.
Don't put large amounts of money in savings accounts that can't be explained. And this includes money you may get from other sources like parents to help you with that home. The money has to be seasoned. It has to have been there a while.
Don't change your job.
Even if you hate your job.
Don't go from an hourly job, don't go from full-time to part-time. Not a good idea.
Keep your income same or better. And don't shop for a home without a pre-approval from a lender. And know what you can afford. It's useless to fall in love with a home that's way above your budget.
One of the ratios that lenders look at is 28% of your gross income, including principal, income, and taxes. No more debt to income ratio for all monthly obligations, than that 35 to 43%. Sometimes they can stretch that. And a minimum credit score of 620. And if you work with a local lender, they're going to tell you how you can improve your credit score.
They'll help you be in the best position possible to do this.
Number 6, don't supply incorrect information or incorrect mailing addresses when you're filling out your loan applications. Make sure that, if you don't live with mom and dad, or you live with a live-in girlfriend, that's where your mail is being forwarded to. Make sure that that information is correct.
Don't waive home buying clauses because there are things that could cost you money in the long run. For example, consider carefully the value of the home inspection. I know in a very competitive market, sometimes buyers are saying, oh, I know I won't get my offer accepted. If you're not prepared to perhaps spend a lot on the back end, don't do it on the front end.
Number 8, don't ignore judgments. Maybe you have a beef with your healthcare provider about a cost, that they've been mailing you stuff for. You're gonna have to work it out. You're gonna have to talk to an attorney. You're gonna have to make a payment plan in order to increase your credit score and in order to go forward to buy a home. It's important not to ignore those parking tickets, maybe that library book you've had for 20 years that they're going after you for. Just keep it in perspective. You can't ignore any judgments.
Don't make late payments. Stay current with your credit cards. And remember, up to 7 years of credit history is subject to examination.
And number 10, don't close any credit card accounts. Don't, go, oh my gosh, I'm going to close my Macy's account, I'm going to close my Kohl's account, I'm going to close this. That sends a red flag too. We don't want any red flags when you're buying a home. So, some of these are silly, some of these are obvious, but you want to walk straight and narrow when you're buying a home. It's a big purchase, and these are just some guidelines to go by.
So now that we've told you what not to do, it's time to really talk about how to empower yourself through what you can do. So Chris, what's the first thing you should do to be the best possible home buyer you can be?
Number 1 would be work with an experienced buyer's agent. And between the both of us, we have 20 years experience. So it's just important, you're basically, if you're not working with buyer agents, you're working as a sub-agent of the seller. So, they're basically an order taker. If you want somebody in your corner that's negotiating for you, and that's important more than ever in this market because that person may be writing 5 to 10 offers before you get your dream home. So it's important that you work with an experienced agent that writes a clean offer for you. And that would be your number 1 do.
Absolutely, and that agent can also discuss freely and transparently with you all aspects of the property, not just the really bad things that there might be there, but all things. And as well, can advise you on how to put together different terms in your offer to make that offer stand out. And most important, to make sure that you understand what the current market is doing in terms of recent sales and interpreting for you what those recent sales mean to help you decide on that best purchase price to help your offer be successful.
These are legal documents, and it's important that you realize that when you get into a legally binding contract, you want an experienced negotiator on your side. So I think it's really important to have an experienced buyer's agent working for you.
So number 2, get your buyer agent, number 1. Number 2, make sure your pre-approval letter is updated often, at minimum monthly. Consult with your lender. If rates are really volatile, you may want to check that even more often.
And I think it's important to work with a local lender. I mean, a credit union, they know you best and you're keeping money in the community. But at a very minimum, with the rates going up and going down, don't hand over that 6-month-old pre-approval letter when you're writing an offer. That's just not going to cut it.
Your experienced buyer agent will catch that and let you know.
Number 3, shop for a home within your price limits. We talk often about how, you get big eyes and you want something that you can afford. And in this market, things are getting bid up. So maybe your price point is $300, maybe you need to start at $250 because it's going to get bid up. So, and the rates could go up and that affects your purchasing power. So stay within your limits. Don't fall in love with a house that you can't afford.
Because list price and sales price in real estate are 2 different things. And in the current market, sales price is typically a bit higher. So number 4, write a competitive offer. Your buyer agent realtor can advise you on things you can do to make your offer stand out. I've even put gift card offers for people, buyers who've said, we'll give them a pizza gift card because we know they're busy moving. I think a seller might remember that. Or if they've already left town and there is lawn to cut or snow to blow, I've had buyers offer to take care of that for them, to ease them of that worry. And those may sound like little things, but they're just little tips and tricks in addition to looking at the bigger contingencies like, well, what do I do if I have a home inspection, and should I offer a home inspection allowance to help make that offer stand out and that home inspection seem less scary? Or are there things that we should look at in terms of offering an appraisal deficiency clause that says if the property doesn't appraise, buyer is willing to bring up to a certain amount to the table? These are all options and tools that your experienced buyer agent will discuss with you to help you decide what you want in your competitive offer.
Number 5, create a budget checklist. You may not get that house tomorrow. It might take you 6 months, hopefully not. But, have a budget checklist. Keep in mind that, your mortgage is just your principal and interest, and they take into your taxes, and they do the debt to income ratio. But there's going to be incidentals that come up, and that's why I think you need to stay within your price point. And you have to understand that going from a renter to being a homeowner, there are things you're not always going to think about. There's going to be repairs. Maybe the furnace is going to break down in one of our warm, toasty winters. Or maybe you're going to have to buy furniture. Maybe somebody's going to step down and not be a full-time, maybe they're going to be a full-time mom or a full-time parent, and your income's going to change. So you have to budget for things, have a slush fund to, cover those incidental expenses.
Number 6, something you can do to show your buying power. Consider increasing your credit card limit on cards if you're in good standing. Don't spend that limit though, but just show that you are capable of being trusted with a higher credit limit.
And number 7, which ties into number 6, keep your credit card spending to less than 30% of your maximum. So if you have $1,000 limit, don't push that limit every month, even though you pay it back. You're going to have to learn to make changes to be from a renter to a homeowner. So it's better to keep that debt to income ratio. That's a part of your credit score. And so you don't want to buy everything you can every month.
Number 8, and this is a big one, your lender will want to have a lot of documentation to show your buying power. But your lender will want your credit card statements with your most recent billings, your last 2 years' taxes, your last 2 years' W-2s, or if you're self-employed, your 1099 form, or however you lawfully report your income to the IRS. And what else, Chris?
Your last 30 days pay stubs. And you may, and that's important, and to be truthful too. So, maybe you're a seasonal employee and you collect unemployment a couple months a year, or maybe you work 60 hours this pay period and 20 the next. Be upfront about this. They need to know what your true monthly gross income is and what your expenditures are to make an educated decision on what kind of house mortgage you can afford. They will want 2 months of your banking statements, and we spoke to seasoned money, so no sudden appearances of money in your savings account. They'll want to look at your 401k if you have it, all your checking statements, recent ones, all asset accounts and investments. And going back to your savings account, if you have an unusual inflow in there, be prepared to explain it. If it's a gift from mom and dad or an inheritance or whatever, have an explanation for why it suddenly showed up in your account.
Number 9, and this is important, do continue to make all your payments on time. Credit card payments, car payments, any other loan payments that you have, make them on time.
And number 10, continue to save. This is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Even if you get your offer accepted tomorrow, you're probably in this for a month or two. And get used to saving money. Have that slush fund for those incidental expenses you weren't accounting for. And it just, increases what you can buy. If the interest rates are going to go up and you want more house, you're going to have more down. That's, you got to be in a cash is king, so to speak. But we're just trying to, give you some ideas on how to make yourself in the best position possible to get that loan approved quickly. And I get asked all the time on a credit score, what makes up your credit score? And according to Experian, your credit score, 35% of it is your credit history. So that's why it goes back to making your payments on time to show you're good credit risk. The amounts owed is 30%. So 65% of your credit score is based on, how you're making your payments and what you're spending your money on every month. 15% is linked to credit. Now, if you're younger, this is going to take longer to build up, but 15% of it is a link to credit. Whether you've had that credit card for 1 year or 10 years, whether you cut it up and ask for another one. 10% of it's new credit, and 10% of it is the types of credit you have. And often they talk about with new credit, you hear that, don't apply for that credit card, that affects your credit score. There's such a thing as a soft pull and a hard pull. Now, so if you get a credit card in the mail and you decide you need that Macy's card and they run your credit score, that could hurt you. If your bank, that may affect your overall credit score. If your bank, just to check to see if you're in good standing, does a pull, that's a soft pull, and that won't necessarily affect your credit score. But you want, a minimum of over 600, to get a house. I mean, there's programs out there to help you get it over 600. And if you work with a local lender or a credit union, they're vested in helping you buy a home, and they'll show you how to improve your credit score. So in summary, we have 10 things you should do and 10 things you should not do when you buy a home. So in summary, we've talked about what you do and what you don't do when buying a home, what's important to improving your credit score. It's really important to pair up with an experienced realtor. Between Barbara and myself, we have 20 years experience. We'd love to help you find your next home. So reach out to us and check out our website, northeastwisconsinhomes.com. If you're looking to search for a home in the area, there's links below. And if you have a topic you'd like us to cover on the next YouTube video, comment below and maybe we'll make it our next video.